Alright, hey everyone. So we're here doing TSDL game reviews today. We're going to be looking at Braticus versus Selth from... I shouldn't have started that sentence when I didn't know what group they were in. They're from a group. Whoops. From one of the groups in Season 6. It's a group stage game. Anyways, I'm going to go to a no peeking screen. Group G is what Selth is saying in the chat. I'm going to go to the no peeking screen while I pull up the first game. So give me just a sec. That's the wrong button. Okay. Sure. Alright, so here we go. So Selth is player 1, Braticus player 2, Plains of Strife. Boxes, what do they look like? So we have 1, 2, 3 tanks for Selth, it looks like. Nope, 4. There's the Hilda. So we have 4 tank, 1, 2, 3 healer. Okay. Hey, good to see you, Braticus. Glad you can make it. On Braticus' side, we have 3 tank with 1, 2, 3 healer. Yeah, those are both reasonable tank healer balances. You're not going to run any particular risk of getting one banned out unless you intentionally let it get banned out. So, no problems there. 4 tank box should be looking to pick DPS early. I imagine that's what we're going to see. There is a leaden, so, I'm okay with leaden in a 4 tank. The reason I'm okay with leaden in a 4 tank is because where leaden struggles is when he has to be a pure tank. Jugler has the same issue, Estelle has the same issue. When they're the only person you're relying on as a tank, they struggle. What they're really good at, though, is having some good utility to provide and also doing off-tanking. So Leaden can kidnap people to give you picks, Jugler can lock things down to give you picks, Estelle buffs your entire team. If you don't have to rely on them to tank, right? So like if you have these other tank picks that you can get if you need to, and they get picked as a second tank, that's okay. But these, they will traditionally struggle if they are alone, if they're your only tank. But yeah, so Selth's box is almost certainly looking to first pick a DPS. If you don't first pick damage as a 4 tank box, you're going to get stuck with like 2 or 3 tanks, and very few people actually want to play that way. Braticus with 3 and 3 is just going to first pick whatever gets banned, is usually the way this goes. So if a healer ban comes out first, you pick a healer. If a tank ban comes out first, the Hilda gets banned, you pick whatever tank you want. It looks like Selth is basically entirely single target. The Rachel is really the only potential AoE unit here. So I imagine Braticus is just gonna, Hilda will be banned because Hilda must be banned by this box, and then Albedo gets picked. Rio is an excellent addition to this box. It's one that I've made myself because this 3 tank style has become so popular that a single target box like this needs a way to break a revive tank easily without losing too much momentum. Rio is a good tool for doing that. So I would not be surprised to see a first pick Rio, first pick Albedo. So you see Rosin ban. Rosin ban doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It makes a little bit of sense. You have the Bosley, you have the Licorice, but there's also picks like Rosa, Yulia, Illustrial, TJS all don't really care about the Rosin. Elwyn kind of does. So you can get away with this Rosin ban. You can try and force your opponent to pick a healer first. It's not bad. But I wonder if this box can do just fine into a Rosin. And also, another thing about the 4 tank box, right? You have 4 tanks, you have 3 healers. If you're not picking DPS early, you're gonna start losing more DPS. You lose too many DPS to have enough damage to win the game. So a 4-tank box like this is very rarely gonna first pick a healer. Even if it is pretty good, even if there was like a Kruger sitting over here to make this rosin significantly better, I still, most of the time, this box should be picking a DPS first. Most of the time. So this isn't really a necessary first ban. There's the Hilda ban. Wow, unbelievable. No one saw that coming. We see a Sigma first pick. So instead of trying to break the albedo, he's going to go around it. Elwyn is the choice, not the albedo. Okay, that's a bit of a surprise. Double bans, the Lancer tanks. Okay, so you're making the Elwyn better by banning these 2 tanks. That makes sense. Elwyn getting picked here surprises me though, because you're looking to just lose your remaining tanks. I guess you actually win on mobility though. That's okay. That's okay if both these tanks drop, because you have Illustrial, Ares, Rosa to kind of have more movement pressure than Selth has available. Selth really just has the Elwyn to pressure that, so that's actually not bad. Yep, there go the tanks. See you later. Elwyn to counter Elwyn. Both healers banned. If you're going... This Elwyn pick makes me think that you're wanting single target, in which case you don't care about healers because you're just one-shotting everything on the board. So if there's a healer on the board, then your opponent just has one less unit at their disposal, right? One less DPS for when you start trading back and forth. So honestly, in this kind of scenario, if you are picking a lot of single target DPS, you want your opponent to pick healers because they're just not good. Banning tanks would make more sense to, again, just try and take advantage of the fact that you have more movement. You can start trading and you just go 1 for 1, back and forth. Yulia. Okay, this is not the pick that I would have gone with. Yeah, so I think you actually do have a pretty significant mobility advantage as Braticus here with 1, 2, 3, these 3. And TJS, honestly, these 4 give you a pretty good mobility advantage. Yulia does not have a mobility advantage. Yulia really needs a tank to stand behind. Elwyn is a Yulia counter if there's no tank. So this Yulia pick is very weak, especially as your second pick. I think this is going to come back to haunt you. There goes 2 of your mobile units as a result. Sherry's going to be good against the Yulia, yeah. Good against... not really what's left in the box, though. But solid against Elwyn, good against Yulia. And another just mobile unit, very good at taking advantage of tankless because you just get to pick up a double kill whenever you engage. There's the Ares. TJS, amazing beside Elwyn. Honestly, TJS would have been a really solid second or third pick. Ares does hold that in check. As long as this Ares goes single target, Elwyn can't run around too freely. Yeah, this TJS could have definitely been third pick. And when you're banning, if your opponent has an Elwyn, you need to be very careful about leaving TJS open. Because Elwyn being able to dive, take a kill, and then you can't kill him because he has his revive, and then TJS teleports in and takes another kill. And now you're down 2 units. One of your units has taken its turn. You have almost nothing left to actually deal with what's in front of you anymore. It's very likely that either Elwyn or TJS lives to the next turn at that point, and then they take more kills. So this is something that's very, very dangerous to actually let happen. Ares can slow it down quite a bit by just threatening to kill the Elwyn, though if a tank gets picked up, that's not going to happen. But yeah, definitely something to watch out for in the future. And you are going to leave him a tank, and he is going to take it. Illustrial is very good. Good Illustrial map. Good choice. Shocked that you get it 4th pick. That's not a tank. Okay, so we have basically 2 Yulias. Yeah, there we go. We have 2 Yulias. This 100% should have been Ledin. At this point, your opponent's going to try to 1-for-1 you aggressively. All you need is a tank to take the first hit. Right? Your opponent has the mobility advantage on you with the Ares, with the Illustrial. So you need to be able to close the distance somehow. And a great way to do that is Ledin, right? You can just walk forward. Braticus does not want to trade for the Ledin. He wants to trade for these 4 units. If he kills the Ledin, then he's just down to DPS because you just kill whatever killed the Ledin. And you essentially lose nothing because this Ledin's basically dead weight. This Ledin's just to walk you into range. Rio, on the other hand, is going to stand there, and he's going to watch, and then he's going to get picked by someone at some point. And, yeah. Bozil. If you can bring Sleep and somehow make Sleep do something, I guess Bozil is okay. I guess you didn't need Rush on Flow, but honestly, Act Again is still strong enough as player 2 that I probably would have picked Flow here. And just tried to make something happen off of that. Bozil very likely will not do much. So comp-wise, I like Selth's team a lot more just because he has 4 effective DPS. Right, 4 DPS who are going to be relevant versus Braticus's 3. I would have liked Selth's team a lot more if there was a Ledin. You can clip that, Xeno. 3 glory, no tank, no Ledin. Alright, so we do see hot fights on the Rio. Yeah, there's an Elwyn. What else are you gonna bring? You're a Rio. You're an infantry Rio. You're always bringing hot fights. So that was guaranteed. Other than that, gear-wise, nothing too surprising. No swordsmith here. This isn't a swordsmith. This is an overlord. This is an overlord pretending to be a swordsmith. This is, I have no idea. Low attack. That's what this is. 5-star. Found the reason. Ooh, these unicorns are also significantly less trained. Right, they're missing a 170 attack here. So this Sherry is not actually threatened by the Elwyn, is the conclusion that I'm coming to. Okay. Sigma with the long range stuff because he doesn't need to jump anyone, sure. This is the wrong skill. Elwyn's gonna run all over you now. Ares was your check for Elwyn running into you and TJS teleporting on top of him. Bringing AoE means that you actually can't check that at all. At some point, Elwyn will charge into you, and TJS will make it a double kill. Yeah. Yeah, so you realize that immediately after Click and Go. Yeah, that's gonna come back to haunt you as well. I can click Danger Zone. We're not watching a spectate game, that's right. That is a very far forward Elwyn for being player 2. That is very far forward. This Elwyn's just gonna die to turn priority. Right, Sherry can move up and then double hit him twice and kill him. Elwyn can charge in and kill him. Right? Even Rio can just walk forward and then 3-seed this Elwyn. This Elwyn has probably killed himself by moving up this far. I think turn priority means this Elwyn just dies. Tankless can be. This is one of the issues that Tankless has, is that you have to be so incredibly careful, especially as player 2, that you don't just give something up to turn priority. It's really, really hard to navigate Tankless. Yeah, Kata says it correctly. You really have to play like a coward, because you basically have to play as if your opponent at any point in time can move a unit all the way forward towards you and you can do nothing to stop it, right? Because that's very likely going to arise at some point, that your opponent can, look at your danger zone and say, oh, the only unit that hasn't acted is this Illustrial, who can't reach me if I stand here. And then they put Rio here, and then next turn Rio walks into your Elwyn and kills him for free. So you have to be very, very careful with positioning. And that's where something like low act again can help you a lot by just, if your opponent positions too aggressively, then now you have act again as a tool to use to punish that. Or just having a tank, right? This is one of the main reasons why I personally don't usually play tankless. It's so incredibly hard to figure out the positionings. Okay, Ares mark. I don't agree with this mark, because Ares outranges Sigma. Especially with AoE. With AoE, Ares outranges Sigma, which means that you can never engage onto him without getting Wind Whispered first, and you're probably just dead to that. I would be looking to mark... Well, actually, there's not really a better mark now, is there? You're never getting in on Illustrial for the same reason. No point in marking Elwyn, no point in marking Yulia. Why would you care about the Bozal this game? So I guess marking the Ares makes sense. It's just usually not good. But in this scenario, okay. It is double 6 range, but with AoE, Ares has 10. So it's doubles, they share range, essentially. Because it's double 6 range, because there's no tank, they share range. Because if Ares is 1 row above or below you, then he can move 9 and then hit you with the corner. With the top left corner, bottom left corner. So you're essentially never going to get an engage on the Ares. Don't mark to open up the attack skill. Yeah, that's perfectly reasonable in this game. It's just not really going to help you. Mark's not really going to help you here. In a normal game, if there were, if you actually did have to care about the Bozal, marking Bozal would be better. But here, it just doesn't matter. This is exactly what I was just talking about. Elwyn just died. Elwyn just died because he was overly aggressively positioned. And so Selth is able to just stand right outside of range. And at the start of the next turn, come in and kill the Elwyn. This is very early to do this. So I think that's why Selth is saying this is wrong. Are we gonna? Yeah, we're gonna see an Ares engage on this. This should be your last action to do this movement, but this is the big issue with tankless player 2, is that someone does this to you and you just can't do anything about it. Okay, so Sherry's looking to kill something. And Ares doesn't kill anyone here. That's nice. Ares doesn't kill anyone anyways, but you should always be 3C'ing from as far away as possible. Is just a good rule of thumb. So if you're gonna click 3C to end up here, just 3C in place. If you want to end up here, move down 1, 3C, because you want to be moving You need to move at least 5 tiles. There's no real point in trying to move exactly 5 tiles. Just move as much as you can. The only time where that isn't the case is if you have a Werner. If you have a Werner, you need to make sure to move over a defensive tile on the first turn. Other than that, just stand in place. Yeah. You get all the movement that you have remaining plus 4. And so you want to move at least 5 for the full Ride the Wind passive. Right, because this gives you up to 25%. So you want to move at least 5, but again, there's no point in being exact with it. You should just move as far as you can every time. It doesn't matter in this scenario, you are never killing this Rio to begin with, but in other cases, there might actually be times where you need that damage to get the exact kill. But now we have an interesting scenario. So Sherry's killing 2 things here. But then the next turn is going to be insanity because the entire team's in range on both sides. So I think if I'm Selth in this position, what do? I kill the Illustrial 100%. Sherry might not kill this Elwyn. I might be a little bit spooked of going for the Elwyn. But I'd probably go for the Elwyn as well over the Ares. Because the Ares has done his thing. There's no real reason to kill the Ares. He's going to take 1 kill, and that's whatever. You don't really care at this point. You want to get as many units off the board that haven't done things yet. So killing these 2 is much more useful. Yeah, Prisoner Sherry, I could probably do it. Hello, Illustrial. Goodbye, Illustrial. Never mind. Oh, never mind. Okay. Yeah, counter damage because of the Elvins. Elven on Mountain. Good thing you had exclusive, I guess. Yeah. If Last Rites was up, you should never die to that. But with Last Rites down, yeah, I can see it. Especially with this low defense Angels. You can definitely have... if your Angels are maxed, they're like, what, 11k HP, 800 defense, and I think you might take that then. 3C is the right skill, though, because you want this 100% heal. And where does Sherry go now? Elwyn? Dies. Okay, cool. Yep, that's exactly what the Sherry should have done. And actually, because you killed 2 units that had already taken their turn, and then the Bozel had to move, it's your turn again. You get to kill the Ares for free now. Or you get to walk forward and kill the Yulia, maybe, with Rio. Can you do that? Probably. The Yulia is not threatening anything, though, so killing the Ares first is correct. Because this Yulia... Because this is a Yulia, she's still not in range of anything. There's still not anything she can do here. So you don't really need to prioritize killing her. Goodbye, Sherry. If that Sherry was at 100% HP, she never dies. Actually, if that Sherry, like, had more than 40% on Angels, she probably doesn't die either. Yes, Rio has a aura that disables revives. It is not a debuff. Rio, the revive disable is not a debuff. You cannot block it. It is an aura applied to Rio. That is important. That is very important. It is what makes him actually usable, unlike Wataru. Oh, hello, Tenya. Goodbye, Yulia. Just kidding. Animations. Yeah, Rio was at too low HP. He couldn't actually get off the double hit. Even still, though, the revive is disabled. That's all that really matters. So now Sigma probably takes it. Uh-oh, that's a reflect. Bye, Sigma. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. Yeah, so basically it was just a bit over-aggressive positioning-wise from Braticus there, which let Selth just kind of walk into him. In combination with a couple of basically dead picks. The Yulia was a dead pick. The Bozel was a dead pick. In both of those cases, there were other picks that could have been made that would have contributed more to the team. That's about it for that one. So yeah, that one's just a good showcase of how difficult it is to play tankless as player 2. You really have to be very, very careful with where your units are standing. Yeah, drop near Yulia. I've seen people using drop near Yulia. You're not the first person that I've seen. It's still never something that I'm going to expect, but I have seen it. I've seen drop near Thorin's Yulia. It's weird. All right. I am going to go to the no peeking screen while I load up the second game. And this one we just watched. Yes. All right. Game 2. Braticus player 1. Hey, it's the desert map. Everyone's favorite map to hate. Why does the desert map exist? Why do they put desert maps in games? Nobody wants them. Anyways. Okay, so we see a Jugler first pick. Why? This pick does not make sense to me compared to the Albedo. This map is better than Courtyard. Courtyard is also bad. You are correct. The Sky map is also bad. This is a very, very vulnerable pick. This is a Jugler kill box, yes. So a Jugler kill box can be recognized by an Elwyn and 3 things that kill Jugler if he goes mixed troops. So in this case, we have the Elwyn, we have an SP Sigma, we have a TJS, and we have a Mariel. All 3 of these will kill a Jugler if he brings anything that aren't lobsters, and Elwyn will kill him if he brings lobsters. This kind of box is the reason why 3 tank exists. Because you don't want to pick Jugler into this. Because it just dies. Because if you go mixed troops to deal with the Elwyn, one of these will kill you. If you go lobsters to deal with one of these, Elwyn will kill you. The only way to save yourself is to be physically standing in water. So if it's on a map where you can actually be standing in water consistently, then you can be okay. This is not one of those maps. This Jugler is going to die. Unless Selth does the pick ban wrong, which he might have done the pick ban wrong. Looking at chat. He did the pick ban wrong. We figured it out. Okay. I don't like Zerida as a first pick anymore. There are a lot of units who beat out Zerida, who are just... They outrange Zerida, they don't die to Zerida, on and on and on. So they did the pick ban and then re-rolled because this is the Merc Jugler and it was originally not the Merc Jugler. They re-rolled the match, they're just picking the units. What map were you guys on? Is basically the only difference maker. Because otherwise, I mean, I'm still just talking about the units. Same map? Yeah, so it's the same thing. The Jugler pick is still weak for the same reason. Whether you made it in this game or a different game, against this box, it's still a weak pick. Albedo is a much, much more reliable tank. You still have a Hilda. This Hilda did not get banned. That would have been significantly better. Just ignore the actual order. Oh, the ordering is wrong. You're just doing the pick ban. That's why the Hilda's not banned. Okay. I see. I understand now. So we're going to skip to the end of pick ban and then talk about it from there. Okay. Yeah, so we do see Elwyn Jess. The Jugler has died. You can start making plans for his funeral. He's very dead. He is very, very, very dead. There's even a Rio here, just in case he wasn't already dead enough. It's very dead. If this is a well-built Rosa, she can break this Leaden. So Selth's not really out of... or Selth's not really got his victory secured yet. However, once again, there's a pair of units for Braticus over here that really just aren't going to do anything. If this Rosa goes in aggressively to break the Elwyn, or to break the Leaden, then all you have is Elwyn for follow-up, which isn't going to be enough. You'll get the Leaden, you'll get one extra pick, and then both these units will die, and you'll be left with the dead Jugler and these two that are going to be so far away they're not contributing anything. So yeah, these two don't really fit alongside Elwyn Rosa. So yeah, I mean, this Jugler's just... I can't stop looking at him. His soon-to-be dead face. But yeah, once again, the Yulia pick is here, and once again, it's very likely not going to be very relevant because it's just so slow. On Selth's side, the only Rio, I imagine, was the last pick, because Rio's not really very good here either, for the exact same reason that Yulia's not very good here. Zerida, I don't like personally. She's okay in this scenario, but she can't get to Rosa before Rosa can get to your Leaden. She can't... I guess she actually can kill the Elwyn since it's not Swordsmith. We do know that. She's good against the Licorice, but you don't really care about the Licorice. Can't kill a Yulia. And then the Jugler's dead anyways. These are the wrong troop. Not everyone might agree with me on this, but since I am the person talking right now, I get to decide what is fact. Griffins are the right troop for Rosa every single time. Holy Pegasus are completely wrong. Rosa's objective is to do damage. She is here to kill stuff. She is here to break a tank. She is here to absolutely murder anyone in front of her. Holy Pegasus do not kill things. They make you safer when you attack. You are already safe when you attack because you have 3C. You are already safe to attack because you drop their range by 1. If they're a melee unit, they can't counter. If they're a ranged unit, their counter is irrelevant anyways. You do not need Pegasus to keep you alive. And you're not just... Pegasus are good on a unit like Luna, who wants to attack to trigger Cursed Lance, and that's it. So she just wants to be really safe when she attacks, to poke 50-50 on the Cursed Lance, and then maybe it'll work out. But Griffins are almost always correct on Rosa. And the reason why I say Griffins over Cav troops, because she does have access to like Heaven's Guard, is because very frequently you're running her alongside of an Elwyn. Elwyn will make people bring Lancer troops. Here they are, Molders. If you run Cav troops on your Rosa and Cav troops on your Elwyn, you can't break the tank anymore. Rosa's job is to break the tank. So you need neutral class. You need to be neutral on class against whatever your opponent's going to be bringing, which is why I like Griffins a lot more. Yeah. So I see a lot of Rosas do Holy Pegasus, and it pains me every time. Don't bring Holy Pegasus. Sure. This is really low attack, which means it's probably Stinger. Except I think I've played against Selth, and I know that to not be true. Yeah. If you don't have Griffins, then okay. But if you plan to use Rosa, you should probably invest in them. Griffins are a fairly common troop. A lot of flyers and non-flyers have access to Griffins, so it's not like you're really wasting those resources. And again, your damage is just going to be so incredibly crippled by bringing Holy Pegasus. I mean, just look at their attack. Look at that. They have 900 attack. They won't get any higher than that. Okay, Yulia. I guess no one wants to hit you anyways. This is the move that's not great here. So something to be careful of in this scenario as Braticus is your opponent has a TP. So you need to respect the fact that at any point in time, if you're too open, this Rio just shows up on top of you and kills something. You need to have at least some kind of answer for Rio getting TP'd aggressively. Rosa is probably your best answer to do that. Because Elwyn really needs to buff to do much damage, and especially with the Rio, you're not going to kill the hoplites anyways. So this Rosa needs to be your last unit to move. She needs to be there as a defensive tool to stop an early TP from just immediately killing you. Yeah, Rosa is also 5-star, but Rosa at 4-star will kill plenty of things. I ran a 4-star Rosa for like 2 seasons and still used her to tank bust. She's still really, really good if you build her correctly. So yeah, this... I know why you're moving the Rosa here, right? You're moving the Rosa first to make Elwyn's buff last longer. That is understandable. However, this Rosa needs to be the last person to move, or else you're just way too open to teleport. Especially when you're positioning this aggressively, right? This Elwyn can get deleted at any point in time. All Selth has to do is decide to teleport his Rio, and your Elwyn's dead. And then, you know, if your plan was a 1-2, right, Rosa engage, break the tank, Elwyn follow-up, that's not going to go well if Elwyn is dead. Yeah. That's another reason why Rosa can safely wait to the end, Octavia, is because you have the Chivalry, so, like, it doesn't really matter if the buff runs out, all you're losing is the damage up, which, if you're killing a teleported DPS, you don't need the damage up. Aw, no TP. Why is there not a Triton put up? That's kind of greedy. That's really greedy. I guess if it's just going to get dispelled by Elwyn anyways, but yikes. I would have... There's no real reason not to just Triton here, right? I don't know. Not too comfortable with that play, though. What? Ledden, where are you going? Why'd you go over there? What? Okay, I see what you were covering. Right, you're covering dog jump onto your Ledden. Right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you're covering dog jump onto your Ledden to let Rosa and Elwyn engage. But also, if dog jumps on your Ledden, then you go kill his Rosa, or you go kill his Elwyn, or you just kill the Jugler. You have a lot of things that you can do to make that not really matter. So you don't really... This teleport is super valuable for, you know, catching people out of position, like right here. Like you could have caught the Elwyn out of position last turn. You definitely did not need to teleport away. Yeah, that's a good point, Zeno, is that you have teleport. If Jugler jumps on you, then you teleport away. If the Jugler jumps on you and you don't think you can kill him, and you don't want to counter engage, then just teleport out of the jump. And then there you go. And you don't have to use the teleport yet. You can save it as a tool because maybe Jugler doesn't jump. So you just kind of put teleport on cooldown, but didn't really get anything off of it. Also, most of the time with TGS, when you use teleport, you want to get your act again then. Because then your teleport and act again share a cooldown. And that's where a lot of TGS's power comes from, is jumping in, right? Especially alongside an Elwyn. A lot of your strength on TGS comes from jumping in and then acting. But if your teleport and act again aren't sharing a cooldown anymore, then you're kind of in an awkward spot waiting for that. Times when it's okay to teleport without using the act again is when you specifically want to like walk forward, strengthen, walk forward, and do a skill. But that's much more situational than teleport to somewhere and then Jessica does something. Teleport act again is like 90% of the time what Jessica wants to do. Strengthen act again it's an edge case that you should be like thinking, I want to strengthen act again here, so I will not act again with my teleport. So at this point, if you're Braticus, your opponent has made the defensive option of teleporting this Ledden away in preparation for this jump, so you don't really need to jump anymore. You're not going to slow down this Elwyn, who's kind of the important unit for you to stop because he's the one threatening the rest of your team. You slow down the Zerida, but the Zerida actually has Shadow Raid. No, that is relevant then. Yeah, okay. So you're slowing down the Zerida to keep her off of Rosa. Honestly, though, this wouldn't work because of your troop selection, but normally, in this scenario, I would say engage with Rosa. Try to kill this Ledden. Right? If your options are jump Jugler forward to slow down the Zerida, to save Rosa so that she can engage later, or just engage with Rosa, then the jump is a very valuable resource to hold on to. Rosa is going to be engaging into this Ledden anyways, so you can just do it now. If you have Griffins, then you can probably kill this. The Holy Pegasus, you're never going to, though. So I guess in this scenario it makes sense, but in general, I would favor just engaging here. Yeah, you're going to try and Holy Pegasus are going to let you down. Look at this attack. It's so sad. They're so sad. Holy Pegasus are just, they're such a sad troop. Oh, you actually run away with the Jugler. This is not the right spot to run to, though. This Jugler needs to run into water. Again, you're up against an Elwyn. If you, at any point, give him a way to hit you on terrain and dispel your water, he's just going to kill you. Especially if you're not confident in your Jugler's bulk. So the things that you don't want to do against an Elwyn is let him be on terrain while attacking you, or especially attacking someone you're guarding. Because Cavs have the bonus tech when they're attacking into guard. So putting him in water, he's almost certainly not going to die to the first hit. But if you put him out of water, he almost certainly will, is the difference there. And we see the T-Jest not really doing anything. Right, and so now, you know, your teleport's up, but your act again is down. This is, once again, back to the issue with act again without teleport. Or teleport without act again, rather. And so now by the time your act again is available, well, your buff has run out. So do you wait to get buffed again before you do anything? Well, that's a long way away. Oh, hey Rosa. Welcome to the party. Not really threatened anymore, but here you are. How does this go? Poorly. Goes poorly. Yep. Yeah, so that's another point with Rosa. You basically always want to spread your swords out as far as you can. Your 3C will put a sword wherever you're attacking, so you want to... Your other sword should be put somewhere to help your team. So it should either be put backwards to help, you know, your team as they engage. It should be put somewhere to maybe, you know, if this Rosa's going to retreat down here, then maybe a sword here makes sense, so that when she retreats, she's still in range of the sword. If you have someone else who's already engaged, putting a sword so that it's in range of them. So like in this scenario, I would put a sword right here. So that way it's here for Jugler. If wherever Rosa retreats to, she'll still be in range of her own sword, right? You're probably retreating here to be in guard range. So now you're in range of the sword, Jugler's in range of the sword. As your units push forward, they're going to be pushing into the sword. And so you just have that stat beacon around your other units. Because you'll always have a sword when you're attacking. As long as you're using 3C, you'll always have a sword on your attack. You don't have to worry about that. Hello, Elwyn. Who's dead today? That's not the right choice. This Licorice wasn't doing anything. He was just here. He was just here to spectate. And now she's died. Yeah, Selth agrees that that was not correct. Oh right, that's a fun interaction. We're gonna rewind just a little bit. Yeah, this Licorice was doing absolutely nothing. Honestly, just take the life off of Yulia. It makes it incredibly hard for her to get healed back up. Right, that heal block shuts her out of the game for 2 turns. And basically forces Licorice to hold 3C that entire time. So I'm actually, if you're going to go in with this Elwyn and you're not killing the Jugler, I'm 100% okay with just putting the Yulia out of the game for the foreseeable future. Run Arcane Battle Garb, and then if this is dropped near she absolutely dies, that is also an option. But yeah, I'm absolutely fine with just trading your Elwyn for lives on the Yulia and shutting her out of the game. Because the Licorice was doing nothing. And I don't think the Licorice ever was going to do anything. So Selth does say that this was intentional, and I agree with that being intentional and being a good play to do intentionally, because this Elwyn probably would have died, or this Ledin would have died to counter damage otherwise. But fun interaction. When Ledin kidnaps someone, he then does a regular attack against them, right? It has the skill multiplier of what, 1.2, but it basically, he has to be able to hit them. So if you teleport someone and they don't get teleported adjacent to you for some reason, or you have 0 attack range, then you just kind of pick them up and then gently set them down somewhere else. And that's it. That's all he does. And is that that's not gonna work. This doesn't work, does it? No, it doesn't. Green troops. How good you are against Elwyn's. Yep, that's all that is. Green troops. Still pretty good. Even with sword. Once again, these unicorns aren't particularly strong. You're hitting off of terrain as well, so they're not getting their tech. That's why the unicorns aren't particularly strong. Yikes. Yeah, so they're undertrained, they're not getting their bonus attack tech, and they're hitting into green troops. It's a lot of things going wrong for these unicorns. And for this Elwyn. So yeah. Yeah, I could look at that and say, yeah, that's not going to kill, is it? And then you just lose both of these units. Go get him, Rio. Woo! That works. I would have done this. Nope, you had to do it this way? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice if you could have gotten Rio somewhere in danger zone so you could get the healing, but you can't because of the water. So yep, nope, that's fine. Killing the L1 first so you don't have to deal with revive is correct. In this case, it doesn't matter because it's Swordsmith. It's not Swordsmith, so Zerda would kill anyways. But that's still fine. Oh, the Ledin finally drops. Anytime you see a Jugler below 100%, TJS kills it. Anytime. That's why TJS kills Jugler if he brings mixed troops. If you ever see a Jugler that's not at 100%, go 3C him. He'll just die. We'll get there. We'll get there. Maybe we won't get there. Yeah, you could have just gone and 3C'd this Jugler, it's 100% dead. TJS does so incredibly much damage. You had a faction buff, right? If you have an attack buff and he's not at 100%, go kill him. Should have teleported because Yulia could have gotten... Looking ahead a little bit. Oh, here we go. Now we're killing him. Look at that. Didn't even need an attack buff. See you later, Jugler. It finally happened. Not in the way we anticipated it, but it happened. Also, this isn't a Twilight Star, so you wouldn't have actually killed a mixed troops Jugler, guaranteed. But if you don't have a Twilight Star, you don't have a Twilight Star. Yes, now it is time for Yulia to 1v3 versus the Rio. And there she goes. Oh no, the Yulia 1v3. Yep. And so there, once again, we see why Yulia has been phased out a lot, because she just can't close the distance, and then she dies. That's Yulia. Yeah, I like the Pale Staff as well, Octavia. I'm a fan. Jess with Pale Staff. If I remember correctly, from what I've done before, Pale Staff, faction buff, and any damage up, and you can, at 6 stars, right, 4 stacks, you can 3C a Jugler at 100% in water with lobsters and just kill him. You can one-shot Jugler without them being at less than 100% with Pale Staff. It takes a little bit more setup, so it's still less consistent than just forcing them to essentially kill themselves by bringing mixed troops, but still good. Ledin MVP. Ledin sure did take some hits there. That's what he did. Didn't get Kyra or Lucretia, so you don't know who to use. There are so many answers to that question, and they all depend on what you want to do. The fact that you have Bozo and the Licorice makes me want to say maybe throw a Kruger in there. But then you also have the Rosa, which makes me lean more towards like Sigma. Werner can be useful. Sherry, I don't remember if you had in your box or not. Yeah, so that will do it for this game. So I'm going to stop recording. So if you're on YouTube watching, bye. There's more games in a playlist somewhere. Check them out if you want. See ya.